Well, hello everyone. Yes, cold. However, we're doing a little project today. Hopefully this comes in well for you. So, the temperature is minus 27 Celsius right now. And I brought out a couple items. How do I make a coffee or a soup or something in the cold? So, you don't want stuff to fade away into the snow, which happens so often. So, we're going to start out with, it's called a trillium, and I'm putting my hood up a bit because the wind chill is close to 40 below right here. And so, I thought I'd share sort of a discovery I made. Probably a lot of you folks already knew about it. Okay. In my quest for being able to do anything outdoors in the cold weather, I found that I wanted to keep it simple. So that we can do with this little guy here, and I'm going to get its name backwards because that's the way of it. Anyway, this is a Series 2 of a stove, and I'm going to hook it on there. Now you can see the tabs here. Well, to me they're ideal to have facing downwards so they can't slide too much. Okay, now in my quest I knew that my avid stoves would work. Now, right, and I could have a problem because I didn't take this cap off, and this equipment's been sitting outside for in excess of 3 hours, and I just cracked that thing. So, okay, got it. Now, my quest was for a stove that could be used and would simmer. And here's where a lot of them failed. My E-Tech City little guy that I like so much, I tried it at 25 below and it would not seal. So, okay, we can see that the hose has been suffering from being crimped up there. And so there we are. Okay, now I'm using this can of MSR isobutane propane because a fellow I talked to does a lot of outdoor stuff in the winter found that sometimes it would work for him and sometimes not so much. Okay, this package has not even been opened before, so okay, and I'm going to resort to using a match that definitely does flare up real good. Now, okay, I'm not getting enough that. Yeah. Okay, now his observation was only one cylinder really worked for him below zero, and we just saw no such luck there. Now this one is also down about halfway. Okay, here's the cylinder, and of course I have to get this lid off. That the only brand that he found he could successfully remove. Remove that thing's going to be fun, isn't it? Okay. I'm going to take this thing and see if we can force it. Okay. I'm going to be back once I get a screwdriver and disconnect. Okay, we're back. Let's see. He was adamant that he always was successful with this particular cylinder, which is the JetBoil one. You know what? He said he used it on a pocket rocket, and it worked perfectly. Well, it's been sitting out here for over 3 hours, and back on with the glove. And I just broke off the head. And he said a pocket rocket, not the Pocket Rocket II. Okay. And there we have it. It is going. So, he proved his point that the MSR did not work for him. Out you come. Kind of awkward, isn't it? Okay. Now, the only other stove that I got, out of all my stoves that will work outdoors, of course, is the avid. Well, that's warming up. Just in case it's not familiar to you, this is the avid stove. Right? I've got 4 tablets in it. They fold down part way. Because you see, my criteria for a stove is a little cup like this to sit on it. And with it snow on the bottom. Okay, so that will work, and that's what I have in my emergency kit in the car. Okay, I'm going to throw this back in here. Now, I brought along coffee. 2 of them in case I ruin one trying to get open. Now that thing is steaming already. Now we know you don't really need, by the way, this stove came in its kit reflector for underneath the burner to reflect the heat back up, windbreak, which I'm not using, and I could be, but let's face it, it's a little cold in the hands. And yeah, in there I also keep a butane lighter, which that would be a laugh, isn't it? Okay, time to put the matches back. Into the box. We may not go right now, it's so cold. I'd only tried this thing in the house, just enough sitting on the kitchen range to make sure it did work. And it does simmer, which was one of my criteria. So, you know, in the emergency kit, the Esbit stove. And I have no doubt about its faithfulness to me. And I'm putting these hands in the pockets, which are insulated, because outdoors in this weather, normally I'm wearing gauntlets, big gauntlets that come up halfway up my forearm. They're a mitt, okay? And these are called a roper's glove, and I call them a winter roper's glove because they're really soft and tender, and I love them. And for driving especially, they're not that warm, okay? The gauntlets, definitely for better. This parka is an Arctic parka. I don't have the proper layers underneath. These boots that I'm wearing are sheepskin lined, real sheepskin lined, but they're not real warm. I haven't tried to time this thing because, of course, I'm not digging a watch out. And I wasn't about to bring my cell phone out here either. Possibly from the length of the video, I won't stop it. I'm going to bring the water to a boil and then pour it into the green mug, which is either 8 or 10 ounce. This GSI, it makes up enough that you can do most of the, at least most of the Mountain House and such freeze-dried meals. And by the time I get done here, like my chest is still warm, and on my back I can feel a little coolness. You can see the steam coming off, I'm sure. And I'm going to zoom it down a little bit so you can see better. And bring it around. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to get a good vision on there, isn't it? Okay. Anyway, the LED, of course, the screen is not going to show much for well. Okay? That's one of the things with this. An LED display at these temperatures doesn't take long and it fades away. Anyway, same as the breeze is coming in my face now, whereas before it was behind my back. I'm getting bubbles, no problem there. Within a minute it will be boiling. Meanwhile, put the gloves, fingers in between my legs and absorb some. And I'm watching the bubbles rising to the surface from different parts of the mug. Depends, I think, on where the mitt is being blown on. Anyway, I am pleased that this Trillium does sit nicely on top of the snow. I dare say, I think that it would probably do well with other things. But I'm pleased. He was right when he said that it would burn with his MSR pocket rocket. I don't know for how long. Okay, I have a rolling boil. A good hard rolling boil. It comes and goes. That's the way of it, isn't it? Now, so we know we have no doubt about being able at 30 below, 25 below, to boil melted snow and all that stuff, which I had no intention whatsoever of doing. Now, see, one of the reasons I wanted a stove of this size is because I wanted to be able to set the small cup on it. And as you can see, that does work well. Okay, I'm going to turn this thing off. Okay. Oh. Yes. Okay, so it's a gourmet coffee. I'll sit that back on the stove. There's the thing to me. You know, if you got most of the stoves that I looked at, the pot supports are too open. You'd actually sit the mug in it, and it went right in onto the burner. Okay. With that, we throw away the water. And load everything back up into this container here. That will go. Because I can pick up the stove with the canister and that will be just fine. Oh, that is good. Okay. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, when you get out in the cold, and yeah, we've pretty well lost the vision on that thing. Okay, the camera's looking at me, so that should be fine. I'll zoom it back to wide angle. Okay, it's showing that there's still life in the camera battery. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. And remember, if you're going out in this kind of weather, dress for it properly. I came prepared with a coat. Now I'm just wearing quite warm pants and shoes that are okay for now. Gloves, well, they're stop your fingers from sticking to anything, and that's about it. Meanwhile, I'm going to pack up everything, get it back in the house. This is going to be an interesting video. Take care, be safe, and when you get outside in this cold weather, make sure you're well prepared. Your vehicle, if you drive around in weather like this, make sure you've got a kit in there, that you've got blankets, sleeping bag, candles, an Nesbitt stove, yes, coffee, cup of soup, chocolate, that kind of stuff, you know. If you have a breakdown, you know, in an hour you could be in trouble. So take the stuff with you and enjoy yourself. Take care, be safe. Ted's clear.